This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And Wyoming Sports Talk today being brought to you by, yes, we're back. And in studio today being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne on South Greeley Highway, Yellowstone Road, downtown on KRAE Avenue, at the corner of Del Range and Ridge, and at the corner of Pershing and Ridge. Yeah, there's a plethora of ways to enjoy delicious Taco John's eats and treats. Taco John's of Cheyenne. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where, again, the lot is filled with the 2020 model year and whatever appeases you and whatever you feel comfortable behind the wheel with. AJ is going to make sure that it happens for you today. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way, done the high-technology way, done everything in between, including home loans, refi loans. We're talking auto loans, remodel loans. They got them all for you over at Platte Valley Bank, Vanda High, and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Delicious eats and treats Monday through Saturday. Oh, by the way, mac and cheese now on the menu all the time. So, again, go in there for that delicious chicken sandwich, waffle fries, and add some mac and cheese. Yes, you're going to enjoy it over at Ray and City's Place, right at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, across from Powers Field and Menards. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs, open Monday through Saturday. Shop indoors, use the convenient drive-thru. See our good friends Gene and the staff today. Medicap Pharmacy, next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. And again, GE Maytag. We're talking Frigidaire. We are talking Whirlpool. All the name brand appliances waiting for you today at 714 Central Avenue. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Make sure you give them a call at 634-6608. Whatever is ailing your vehicle, they'll try to get you in, get you all taken care of. Heather and the great staff always working with you at Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. First Tier Bank over at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, again offering fantastic CD rates. So again, Tim and the wonderful staff invite you to come on in and check out what they can do for you over at First Tier Bank. Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan cuisine at its finest, 5 decades now. Joe Mondello, along with the family and all that great staff, have been bringing us delicious Paisan cuisine. Pizza ranked in the top 10 of the nation by the Food Network, folks. So just enjoy a slice, and you'll know what I'm talking about, why it's ranked so high, and it's so delicious. Mondello's Pizzeria, open Monday through Sunday, Sundays noon until 8. Check them out, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, and it's Scoreboard Time, being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Recapping from this past weekend over at the RAC with LCCC men's and women's basketball here this past Saturday as they both hosted Casper College, nationally ranked Casper College squads. I will start with the women first, where they took on number 18 ranked, at least Casper College. The Lady Thunderbirds were for LCCC. They got the upset victory at home, winning by a final of 74-64. So with that victory, LCCC moves to 13-5 overall. They are 2-0 in Region 9 North play. For the men, as they got underway after that women's contest, as they took on number 19, at least ranked Casper College, the Thunderbirds, LCCC unfortunately came away with another loss against that team, final of 89-69. So for LCCC, they're going to fall to 3-13 overall. They are 1-1 in Region 9 North play. NHL action for tonight, only 5 games on the slate. Montreal Canadiens at home. They will host the Calgary Flames in New York City, at least at the Madison Square Garden. How about the New York Rangers playing host to the New York Islanders in the battle of those two New York teams? Philadelphia Flyers at home at Wells Fargo Center. They will host Boston Bruins. Washington Capitals at home at the at least Capital One Arena in Nation's capital. They will take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And last but not least, the St. Louis Blues. They will be at home. They will take on the Anaheim Ducks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
And let's look at college football on tap for tonight. 6 o'clock kickoff. Number 1, LSU, 14-0 on the season, will match up with number 3, Clemson, who is also 14-0. And again, they will kick off at 6 p.m. for this evening.
Who's the better Tiger? We don't need to go into it. It's just pretty much that's just the theme of it. Who is the better Tiger team?
Who's got more power in their tank? That will be the deciding factor a little later on. NBA scoreboard for tonight. Anybody caring about the NBA? Pelicans at the Pistons, 76ers, Pacers in the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Bulls, Celtics, TD Garden. It will be the Thunder and the Timberwolves at the Target Center, Magic and the Kings in Sacramento at the Garden One Center in Sacramento. Trailblazers late night tonight. We'll have a date with the Hornets in the Moda Center. Lakers and the Cavaliers, they will hook up at Staples. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
All right, if you're a gamer, you know the world of gaming is full of amazing gear. Portable cannons, flying tanks, whoa, like that one, mythic artifacts. But the most advanced tool in gaming today isn't even in the game. It's right in your hand. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel is purpose-built for gaming, created with pro gamers for gamers. What does that mean? It means it's formulated with ingredients that have been shown to improve accuracy, whoa, and alertness. And Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel tastes great too. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel even comes in a special can with a uniquely textured grip, so it's easy to refuel between respawns. The ones you're furiously trying to avoid? Hey, there we go. So next time you log online, gear up. Get the drink designed for gaming. Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Being back in studio. It's been a while since we've had Wyoming Sports Talk Today, about a week ago, as Nick and myself have been road warriors. We will become road warriors again on Thursday, as we will be headed up to Riverton, then we'll spend the night there and then head over to Sheridan. So, again, we will be with the LCCC women's and men's basketball teams on Thursday.
We will have one
Saturday.
more show, though, on Wednesday. We will have the coaches
Right.
show as well, too. Again, as we have a slight break, we'll have high school basketball coming up tomorrow night, live from Cheyenne South. Myself and Chris Polton back there again at Fighting Bison Gymnasium, as both of those teams will play host to Scotts Bluff, the Lady Bearcats and Bearcats out of Nebraska. So, again, more non-conference action for Cheyenne South. Looking forward to that coming up tomorrow night. 5:30 and 7 are the tentative start times for those games, at least hopefully so. Again, the late at least start for our contest this past Friday were due to the fact of other, at least Taco John's Invitational games underway. Hopefully we won't have a JV game in front of us.
That should be in the auxiliary gym.
I would hope so, but you never know out there. But, again, we will have Cheyenne South coming up tomorrow, and as you mentioned, again, LCCC men's and women's basketball. Central Wyoming College up in Riverton this Thursday. That will be 5:30 and 7:30. Saturday's contest in Sheridan at Sheridan College, taking on the Lady Generals and Generals. That will be 2 and 4 o'clock coming up this Saturday.
And over in Riverton, too, former Cheyenne Central product, Lindsey Fearing, is the head coach in her second season, having a really rough go at the present. They're 4-12 as they'll match up with the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles, who we will talk about here in just a minute. Real quick, mentioning which Tiger's going to win. That'll be in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans.
I have no investment.
I know, but I'm just saying that game will be at 6 o'clock, and if I look at it right, the latest line, LSU is favored by 5.
No surprise.
The over-under 67. They expect a shootout, and I do believe that's going to happen.
I doubt it, but again, doesn't surprise me. LSU, who I just at least picked at the early part of this season, saying, yeah, they should be your national champs. Still think that they will. Clemson, though, again, defending,
should be a good game.
defending national champs. They've been there, did it, done it. They know what to do. So it should be a good battle on paper, but I think LSU probably blows out
All
Clemson.
right, well, we'll get into that later if we have some time. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, we've had NFL go on over the weekend. Again, the Tennessee Titans, the upstart Tennessee Titans. We've got baseball news. We've got basketball, high school, collegiate basketball to talk about. Matter of fact, coming up after the break, we will hear from University of Wyoming head coach Alan Edwards as his Pokes lose in overtime. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Let's talk about the collegiate hoops.
Let's talk about
JUCO side.
At least local collegiate hoops, which again is kind of the spotlight, or at least should be the spotlight here in this kind of locale area out here in Cheyenne. But for LCCC, again, on the women's side of things, getting it done against a national ranked team.
Now, second time now.
Second time, again, as we look at so far this season, they've had 2 top 25 upsets. Again, the first one coming at least November 30th versus number 13 Midland, team out of Texas. That was a part of at least that Arizona Western Classic, at least Thanksgiving Classic happening out there in Yuma, Arizona. So, again, that was the first one for LCCC. Again, that was at a neutral site, but still got it done against number 13 Midland, Texas, at least number 13 at the time. Midland is still ranked as of right now as the updated rankings came out today. Midland, so far, they have dropped down to number 18, at least nationally. And again, as I mentioned, at least Saturday's contest for LCCC, they're live at the rack. That was the first time in program history at home to get a top 25 victory, defeating number 18 at the time, Casper College Lady Thunderbirds, again, by a final of 74-64 with the recent polls. Casper, with that loss, moves down to number 22 overall in the nation.
And LCCC did not crack.
They are not. They did not crack top 25 so far. They did not at least receive outside votes. They are kind of non-existent, which to me is a little bit surprising.
Well, no, I think the two losses really, and I've had this conversation.
One loss was against Western Nebraska,
but the two losses to Otero, I think, are going to come back.
Otero's a good outfit.
I know, but
Otero is
right
taking care of business against some good teams. But one loss though against Western Nebraska. Again, that game happening here over at the rack for LCCC. So far for the Lady Cougars, they stand at number 7 nationally ranked. So again, those are your 3 teams, or at least that, and also to Gillette. Gillette and the Lady Pronghorns are number 25. So 3 at least representatives out of Region 9, 2 of the North, 1 out of the South, getting some at least national ranking love so far in the polls that came out earlier today. But it is, in my opinion, I talked with at least you, and also to again talk with a bit of, at least with head coach Brian Ortmeyer about this of, getting this win, you wonder if some folks will give you at least some respect, some outside votes. Not saying that's going to vault you immediately in the top 25, especially as they stand 13-5. That 5 losses do hurt a bit. Again, twice to Otero, 1 against Western Nebraska. And I do believe at least early on against McCook. But other than that, though, you have 2 top 25 wins, 1 being at neutral site, 1 being at home. You wonder if that would have given LCCC some respect, or is it something that they played Is it something that it's a lighter schedule in Region 9, a lighter schedule that Brian Ortmeyer has kind of scheduled with the CSU clubs of the world and so on and so forth? But the Phoenix colleges, also too, you look at Arizona Christian JV. Does that hurt?
Yeah, but you played them in on their enemy court. So
Phoenix College, that is a D2 program.
I mean, let's look at the LCCC Lady Golden Eagles. How many road games they have been involved with? I mean, they are battle tested on the road.
Very few have been at home.
So, the thing is, I would think Region 9 North, Nick, probably has that respect out for the Lady Golden Eagles right now.
You have to at this point in time.
And again, too, you get 2 more road games out of the schedule right now in Region 9 North, coming up here Thursday night at Riverton, and again Saturday afternoon over in Sheridan. That leaves you just Gillette, Western Wyoming and Rock Springs, and that leaves you Eastern in Torrington. That leaves you only 3 road games left.
Yeah.
So,
but all of them are going to be pretty tough. Again,
There's not a light night ever in Region 9 North, and
your lightest night might be again Western Wyoming, at least the Lady Mustangs.
And you're also facing a struggling Central team coming up here on Thursday. But again, you never lay down for anybody. And the thing too, Nick, as well as I do, we saw it last year. That first time ever they got to host a tournament game in their gym, and that's what you want to do. You want to finish 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Well, and the thing about it is, too, of that number 1 seed being so important for LCCC, kind of get those eyes on that prize, is that Region 9 North, at least whatever team that is that number 1 seed, gets to host the entirety of at least the Region 9 tournament. So, again, if that is a possibility for LCCC, again, that would be a chance for them to host every single game there live at the rack, win or lose, so to speak, for LCCC. But it is a possibility, and again, it's a good reality right now for LCCC. Yeah. Again, the only obstacle, again, you got over the big one of Casper College. The next obstacle is Gillette, again, who is right now sitting at 16-2, undefeated, at least obviously in Region 9 North play. But, that is the other obstacle. Those are basically it's LCCC, Gillette, and Casper that you need to battle with to kind of get that number 1 seed and have that.
And I throw Eastern in there too. I would not discount that little outfit up there in Torrington. They're always pesky every year. So, and again too, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. The win on Saturday, very significant for the Lady Golden Eagles program, and it shows you the advancement in the program over the last 4 years.
Well, and again, it relieves some pressure on LCCC again, where they have to head up to Casper later on in the season to take on that Lady Thunderbirds team. At least in that season series, the worst you can do is split with this team. So, again, at least the big one was done at home against Casper College this past Saturday. But as we talk about it, so far here in 2019-2020 for LCCC women's basketball, the Lady Golden Eagles, so far as of now, it's been a historic and record-breaking season right now for his Lady Golden Eagles, again, for head coach Brian Ortmeyer. So far, again, early on in this season from November 19th to December 9th, they were on a 6-game winning streak. That is the most, at least, consecutive wins for LCCC women's basketball in program history. Again, as of now, they are currently on a 5-game winning streak, so a possibility to at least break another record here, at least possibly in the next couple of games.
At least tie one on Thursday night, eclipse it on Saturday.
Which, again, that's what we are definitely hoping. But so far, they have broken at least the previous team record of 6 consecutive wins. Again, 2 top 25 upset wins happening in the same season. First time ever happening against Midland College. That being, again, that was part of that Arizona Western tournament, and again, just recent against Casper College. Points per game so far for LCCC, they're averaging 72.1 points per game. Again, as of now, as of calculating the 18 games that they played, it's so far the highest in program history that they're averaging. And also, too, back on December 3rd when they took on that CSU Club Lady Rams team, that 112-point victory, that was the most points scored for LCCC in program history. So far, again, for this grouping, this Lady Golden Eagles team has been creating history on the court so far here in 2019-2020.
Well, and again, let's look at this too. It's 4 sophomores. One didn't even play last year, Saraven Allen, who was battling through the injury bug. So you have Haley Anderson, Saraven Allen. You've got Alexis Lamoureux, who is now a spot player for LCCC, and again, too, Jakia Wells. If they are having off nights, those 3 that are on the court more often, and Alexis did contribute quite a bit in her short stint on Saturday. But this freshman squad that he's brought in, they are doing the job. Abby Giroux's doing a great job. Kason Hobbs off the bench. Sam Hester. We can go right down the list here. And he was without a couple of weapons. Yoder's Ellie Schmidt, who's battling the bug. At least she was upright and got a chance to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
I guess the other one, Soraya Jones, really hit hard by that flu. Those are a couple more young ladies that have been great contributors to this program. So,
which Coach Ortmeyer is anticipating that they should be back and ready for this weekend's contest. Again, not Wednesday, Saturday. Instead, it's going to be a short turnaround for LCCC. Again, you get that 1 day extra break to at least practice or at least kind of rest, so to speak. But again, Thursday and Saturday, not Wednesday, Saturday. So, interesting kind of setup. It was more so to kind of align that travel to make it easier for LCCC of why they shifted that game to Thursday. So, again, you get done with that, move on over to Sheridan, and get ready for those games on Saturday.
And the nice thing, too, and knock on wood, that this team has not been hit by the injury bug. That's the first thing. The second thing is they've all been relatively eligible. I mean, they all made it through the first semester. Matter of fact, I think Coach Ortmeyer said they had a 3+ GPA. As
the 3+ GPA, I think also too in program history is the highest that they've had as a team, at least cumulatively.
I want to say it was like 3.3. Does that sound right? 3.3,
something like that. Yeah, but either way, again, a highest GPA mark as well. Team. So this team, on the court, off the court, is making record strides.
And again, we were counting just how many young ladies were available for the contest here on Saturday. Didn't we count like 11 or 12 that were ready to play ball, and with the 2 that were in sick bay?
Probably.
So again, all the weapons right now to Coach Ortmeyer and Coach Ronaldo are available, and right now the Lady Golden Eagles are delivering. Are they going to get beat? I don't know. Is there a possibility down the road, going to Casper, going to Gillette at the rack? I don't know. But, I'm looking at their 13-5. That you and me have done this too, and we always like to go look ahead. Is 20 wins in the offing this year for the Lady Golden Eagles? Absolutely.
You have 12 remaining, and again, majority of them, at least here early on in January, are on the road. But yes, you stand 13-5 right now. 12 games remaining on the schedule to hit that 20-win mark. Yeah, good possibility, especially when you're going to see Northwest come down to the rack. You're going to have, 2 stints with Western Wyoming. You already got one against Casper. You know how to beat that team. It's going to be a little bit tough heading up on the road to take them on, at least in February.
Right.
But you still know the winning formula to get it done against that Lady Thunderbirds team. And again, Eastern, we'll see what happens. Central's down and out at least a little bit right now. Sheridan's kind of a question mark. They lost a lot of pieces, a lot of bigs that were kind of, at least, a lot of those bigs that stopped LCCC last year, that were a problem for LCCC last year, are no longer there. So we'll see what this Lady Generals team is made of, especially on the road there at the Golden Dome up in Sheridan. So are there possibilities to hit 20 wins? Without a doubt.
And nonetheless, too, going back to the game, you know it as well as I do on Saturday. Very exciting game, exciting win, and congratulations, Lady Golden Eagles. A huge win for the program as they now move to 13-5 season. On the other side of the coin, on the guys, still struggling. Two pieces are still not back yet.
Yeah, without a doubt. But was it a scenario that you had belief that LCCC could pull off the upset against Casper College? Personally, no.
I felt okay at halftime. They were only down by 8. I
said it in that game at halftime. They were thankful to be down by 8 of how bad that team was playing, though, in that first half, basically allowing Casper to get in. But, it was a tale of 2 different halves, at least for that Thunderbirds team. How about, again, immediately coming out at halftime, Casper College just basically said, hey, we're going to put on the afterburners and basically just go up and down like
Satchel, David Walker. And again, too, Coach Ficca had high praise for David Walker, probably one of the best players that he has seen this season. And the compliment to him out of Casper College, probably the best player in Region 9. And he played. I mean, we were waiting for the guy to come on out. He never did.
Yeah.
He played all the minutes out there. But you go back and you look at that game, too, where LCCC got off to a horrendous start to kick off the first 3 minutes or so, and everything that Casper threw up went in. To their credit, I mean, every biscuit went in the basket, and most of them were from outside.
Yeah.
So, you look at yourself and you're down by 20-plus points. To LCCC's credit, they kept scraping, they kept fighting back.
They kept on getting it back. I think got it back down to single digits there, at least midway in the second half, but eventually just Casper College is just, again, too talented, just too strong, and basically just said, hey, get out of our way, we're going to take care of business.
2 weapons, in the backcourt, Damian Perry along with Chris Grace, still not eligible to play. Hopefully, I think they come back.
Perry's anticipated for this weekend, same with Grace, at least talk with Coach Ficca, possibly.
But like Coach said in our postgame show, got to get Eric Oliver some time off.
He's got to get
He's been running the point. I can't remember. Did he run the point when he was at East? I don't remember.
Yeah, a couple times.
At times, yeah, but he's running the point now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's been.
But he's a multi-tool athlete.
I understand.
Outside of being an inside
threat,
threat, but again, of 1, 2, 3, he has that possibility. Again, he has that talent there, and he certainly has showcased it so far with LCCC. But yes, it's a guy that's been kind of run ragged, at least so to speak. He is that go-to guy right now. Him and I'd say also too one Courtney Dean at least at certain points of this season. But yeah, he needs some, not so much, at least basically sit him down for an entire game. You need to rest on some of those minutes.
And again,
give those legs a break.
Zovko, along with Eric Oliver, are going to be your big point getters. Okay, Mateo is a good scorer. He's a little weak on the defensive side.
Little weak on the defensive side. Again, he is just more so an outside threat. Again, can't hit
it inside.
He still has that Euro step issue, again, which is going to be called every single time where he's taking that extra step. So that is the thing that so far in his sophomore season still hasn't gotten out of that kind of bad habit, but that is very tough to at least kind of get out. We see it on the women's side of things, especially with Anna Tyrone, where she does a similar kind of at least step where she's going to get called with that travel. But Mateo, he is he's a streaky shooter.
But he's going to be one that's going to have to get you double digits every time out. And again, he had 22 here in the loss. I mean, both him and Oliver were the top getters.
This is a team that
or 20.
You can't really rely on a Mateo, though, Courtney Dean, or a single-eyes person or entity on that floor, though, to kind of carry this load, carry this team, though.
No, they have to be a team. It has to be a team win.
That's why it's got to be Mateo, yes, hitting double-figure points. Same with Courtney. Same with Kyle. Kyle's got to step up his game right now.
As well as Oliver. Oliver, again, once he's not bringing the ball down, once he gets that opportunity where they set the plays, where he gets that opportunity to get those looks from the perimeter, or or take the dribble drive inside.
We saw Eric at least struggle early in that first half, but second half he finally found that offensive rhythm that he's been missing for quite some time. Again, he has it there. He's just been, for the past couple of contests, in a bit of a scoring slump, so to speak, and it showed in that second half as they were trying to rally against the Thunderbirds that Eric finally found that groove, finally found that rhythm. Hopefully that continues on as they take on the Rustlers coming up this Thursday up there in Riverton. But yes, for Eric Oliver, he's a workhorse. He wants to be on that floor for the entire 40 minutes. We know that he has that heart, that passion, but as we've seen with freshmen of the past, we look at last year's team for the Golden Eagles. You look with David Applegren, with Tyrese Patoma. Again, as they get worked in, or at least they're kind of relied on to have those heavy minutes, those legs, those bodies
start getting heavy.
Yeah, get heavy, get very weary, and we saw a lot of those players get in those slumps. It makes sense that Coach Vick is looking, at least for Eric Oliver, to kind of take a bit of a break. Or lighten the load on him and find someone to kind of pick up that slack, whether it is a Chris Grace, a Damon Perry to come back, or again, look at your three sophomores that are still with you, whether it is Courtney, whether it is Kyle, whether it is Mateo right now.
And again, too, the bench is going to have to kick in a little bit more. We saw Yusuf Washington out of Denver, Colorado. He's starting to step up his game a little bit. We still need Ash Chidua to get the bad habits. That if LCCC, and again, that would be it's more on the athlete than it is the coaches. But you need to get these young men out of these bad habits, and the major bad habit is putting the ball down. The big guys are putting that ball down on the floor.
Ash is starting to get out of that rhythm.
Caleb still does that a little bit. He still has to put it down.
But Ash is starting to learn that, or at least he's starting to get rid of that old habit and just going straight at the basket. He's also, we're seeing from Ash, as he's improving throughout the season, being a little bit more aggressive, being at least not so afraid to get on.
They go in there, they'll battle with these big guys. And again, Peppel was and then I think it was I want to say Sika, I do believe his last name. These guys were big. They were strong. Peppel was 6'10". I think we go 6'7". That's our biggest guy in Chedua. I think, Sophia's 6'9", but he's a very lean and lanky 6'9". Peppel was pretty well built, as was Sika. So, you sit there and you look at these.
Is that, and again, we spotlighted Caleb Davis and Ash Chedua, and also, too, again, with Dante Sophia, who recently came back off of sickness. But, right now, there's a lot of issues with this team that they're still working on. Finally got over, at least this is a team where I kind of equate to what we talk about with Cheyenne South on football, or, again, some of these teams that are at least struggling here. Again, you're looking for those small victories, those small at least issues to kind of get over, so to speak. As we point out with Ash, he's starting to learn to not dribble that basketball, instead just go straight at the hoop. Eric's looking like he's getting out of that slump. Offense is starting to at least click once again for one Eric Oliver. This is a team that is starting to kind of gel as a team, so to speak. There are still miscommunication issues on the floor. We saw a couple times, inbounding the ball, or at least you're rebounding the ball, not realizing that you have two other white shirts by you, or at least two other teammates, and you all collide, and there goes the basketball right back to Casper College. We saw that a couple times this past Saturday there live at the Rack, but it's basically at this point in time for the Golden Eagles, you look at those small mountain victories, those small hills that you're getting over, and again, those light positives where you get it all corrected right now, or at least you take it one at a time, where you finally get over the hill, the big one. to pick up victories as we saw against Northwest on the road.
Well,
you're looking to do that now with the Rustlers and possibly the Sheridan Generals coming up this weekend.
And again, Perry and Grace did not make the trip up to Western Wyoming. I'm sure they have seen the video footage of that particular game, but they were in attendance at Saturday's game, and I'm sure they were there for Western Nebraska, that debacle. But the bottom line is, hopefully these guys are taking notes, because once you got out of preseason play, Region 9 North is just as fast, just as big, and just as strong as Region 9 South.
You have very talented top 25 teams that you got to worry about. You just saw one with Casper. You got one with Gillette, and you got one with Western Wyoming right now out of Rock Springs. So you got some high-level talent. Can't sleep on Central. Central's had their, at least LCCC's number. At least Coach talked about it last year where, hey, you had back-to-back games there at the end of the season where you had to head up to Riverton where you pulled off a big-time victory in the regular season, but then the next, at least couple days later, they found a way to upset you, so to speak, there in that early round of the Region 9 tournament. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team responds, what they are coming up this weekend as they now become road-tested, at least road warriors as they head up to Riverton and Sheridan Thursday and Saturday. So curious to see. Do want to mention as well, part of at least Saturday's contest, we did see for the first time one Onyx Jackson, former Cheyenne East product, former teammate of Eric Oliver, get some minutes, get some time. I think he went 0 for 1 for the field, but again, he was just out there to at least get some reps, so to speak, for LCCC. But that's another big body that, we'll see what Coach Ficka does with one Onyx Jackson, where, again, he's got the size. He's about 6'4". See if you can kind of plunk him in to take care of some of these
I think
bigs.
the walk-on is going to get some minutes, but it's not going to be in the significant role that you're driving with.
I'm
right
just saying,
now.
it's a piece where he can battle with those bigger guys throughout Region 9 North. We'll see what his minutes are. But at least it was good to see that another Chinese product out there on the floor, at least for LCCC, getting some time with the Golden Eagles.
All right, we do need to take a timeout as we're past break time. We come back. The University of Wyoming Cowboys now 0-4 in conference play at home to go with an 0-2 road startup. They're 0-6 overall. They let one slip away against UNLV. And Alan Edwards and his press conference coming up after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480krae.com.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Brandt Audiology and Sherrard Hearing Centers have teamed up and are now Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus. Hi, I'm Dr. Ruby Zubrod. Our new team allows us to work with Audibel and all national hearing aid brands. We now cover many communities in the southeast Wyoming and western Nebraska area. Call to schedule your appointment so our team can help you with any hearing healthcare need. Call 426-4327 or find us at brandtaudiology.com.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. This week's Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Jim Beam Bourbon, select variety, 750 milliliter bottle, $13.99. Corona family of beers, 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles or cans, $15.99. And Lord Calvert Canadian whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $12.99.
Town and Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny. Expected daytime high near 36. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 15. Mostly clear for tonight. A low down to 18 degrees. Mostly sunny Tuesday. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of snow showers before midnight. And our low drop down to 15 degrees. For Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and breezy. We're calling for a daytime high of 31 degrees.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Without looking at film, easy assessment on this one. Talking to the staff in the locker room afterwards, and then before going in front of our guys. I want to say a minute and 20 in the game, and we, missed 5 free throws. During that time, you work on extending your lead, and you had your better and older guys put in that situation to make the free throws. But what I told them was, even in the midst of missing the free throws, we still didn't get stops down the stretch. And I thought we did a really good job in the first half defending them. In the second half, at overtime, I thought we were very average within defending. Better job taking care of the basketball, but I think their will eventually came in as well with the 15 offensive rebounds. I want to say at half we were down 3 on the glass. We put ourselves in position to win the basketball game. We just couldn't close it out.
More difficult than some of the others because you had to do it?
It's more difficult than others because you're dealing with youth, and sometimes when you're dealing with youth, you need you need something like a bright spot, this was an opportunity, for that, because they have been working hard. There was the scouting report and game plan with what we went in to play against them. I thought it fit. You ask any coach in the country to be up 7 with a minute and 20 or whatever it was. I think anybody takes that. But like I said, we couldn't close it out. And free throws was a part of it. And then executed on the defensive end and rebounding the basketball allowed them to take it into overtime.
You talk about trying to make this a positive, but the way you lost that game in this kind of season, do you worry a bit about confidence in this team being able to bounce back after a game like this?
You know what? I don't worry about it, only in the sense of every time I get in front of them to talk, I come with the right energy and come with a message, at the end of the day. With these guys being young, they do listen. And sometimes I think they listen too much to where they try to do it exactly rather than sometimes ad-libbing when the scenario or situation says it. Different than coming into this game. I thought the energy was great. I thought our effort was great. We just didn't make free throws.
Given all that, you still had a chance to win the game after they tied it with just under 13 seconds to go. Did you like the look? Would you rather attack? I mean, and I know you have watched film, Alan, but.
Well, I mean, you put it in Maldo's hands, who's your best player. And at that point, you want to kind of go make a play, I didn't want to call a timeout because they didn't have any themselves for them to get set up. But what we had communicated to our guys, we gave them an offensive call. Maldo, kind of took it down there with a head of steam, kind of lost control of it a little bit, but ended up pitching it to Jake, shot fake. I thought Jake Kaluk was actually pretty clean. And, he's our best shooter. A little deep, but, I've seen him make those type of shots as well. Do you want something at the rim? Yeah, because you're either getting a layup or you're putting them in position to foul or get to the free throw line. But I thought that was the next best play because he was fumbling it. And, you put it in your best shooter's hand.
Were you surprised at that foul call that ended up getting them the free throws?
Yeah, I was, but, that's just a tough job, being an official. And, they had a chance to look at it too. So they confirmed the foul. But in the midst of games, some of those calls don't get called. And you'll often hear people say, let the players win the basketball game. I'm not saying swallow your whistle, but if it was just a touch, if he got clobbered, I get it. But there was a lot of commotion down there, a lot of bodies. But you know what? They made the call. And their kids stepped up to the line, put both of them in to take it, or put them in position to go to overtime.
You hold them to 22% shooting the first half, they shoot 50% second half. Anything to put your finger on as to difference in those halves defensively?
I thought we kept them off guard in the first half. I thought in the second half, I didn't necessarily thought we relaxed. I thought we lost number 10 a few times within our zone, and I thought we got spaced out a little bit. Once they got the ball to the middle of the floor or tried to put it in their guards' hands and play one-on-one. Our biggest, one of our points in guarding them was getting in gaps and making them play against 5. The only kid that you probably didn't want to help off as much was number 10. But I thought they caught it in some good sweet spots, and I thought they made some tough tools or shots around the rim. But I thought the offensive rebounding became a factor in the second half as well, giving them extra opportunities to put back, so even putting them at the free throw line because of our fouling. So I thought we did the game plan in the first half. Second half, we stuck with it. I still thought we did some things that were good. I just thought they ended up just trying to will what they do. And like I said, even with all of that, I don't care. You give me that same scenario, you put the same kids at the free throw line to shoot the same free throws, I would take that bet any day. We just had, if we put them in, then it's a different basketball game.
You mentioned you didn't want to call timeout at the end, but it seemed like there were stretches where you could have called timeouts. You kind of let your guys play through that. Mm-hmm. Is that just part of learning through some adversity and seeing them react in a good way where they give up the lead but get it back and things like that, Alan?
Well, if I would have used it probably earlier in the second half, actually I did in the second half when I thought they came out with some energy. But I thought we regrouped at that point in time. And even in the midst of all of that, I didn't think we were playing horribly to go back into that. And then, to be honest with you, he had utilized his timeouts. So that was opportunities for us to talk about some of the things that we needed to correct on the floor as well. So I didn't feel the need to call it per se for myself because of the media's and because he used his. And then, like I said, at the end there, I didn't want to give him an opportunity to get them set defensively. So, we kind of played.
Are Kenny and Quan, are they two of your best 5 players right now?
Well, I think Quan played well tonight. But again, I think where his growth has happened, conditioning. Early in the year he wasn't playing. He wanted to know why. And, he wasn't in shape. I think he's done a great job of getting with Coach Watts and Coach Granberry, getting in some extra workouts with the coaching staff. And this was one of those nights where you kind of feel it out. I thought he played well, so A.J. Banks didn't get as many minutes as he would usually get. Kenny was out there quite a bit. I didn't think he played particularly well when he was out there. But, I think TJ, I think AJ, Greg has some growing to do as well. But with youth, you don't know when it's going to click. And I can get excited about what I saw tonight from Quan, but like we tell our guys all the time, doing it one time is just doing it one time. How do you make it a habit, and how do you come back and get better? Because kids nowadays have a performance like that and feel like they've arrived. And that's probably the wrong mentality to have. If anything, I think he should be a little bit more hungrier and not stop what put him in this position. And I think he needs to even ask for even more work, at the end of the day, so he can solidify himself as one of our top guys.
Do you anticipate him getting more minutes going forward?
Well, he's going to get in the game. From there, it's what we see, Again, I thought, I didn't think AJ was having one of his better games. So, he was the next option in line. But if he continues down the path of putting in the work away from the court or away from the time that we spend with him, then he's going to give himself a chance. If he doesn't, then, you kind of go right back to the same boat.
Yeah. Over the last three games, it seemed like each time he's taken another step forward.
Mm-hmm.
So now it becomes a matter of whether he can keep pushing himself.
I completely agree with that. And again, what I would say about him is, early in the year he asked why, and he was given the reasons why, and he made some adjustments in a few areas. And actually, the other part where I think he made the adjustment is working on his body and, what type of food he's putting in it. So, again, with what he's tried to do from what was given to him, because I tell guys all the time, like, I love all of them, at the end of the day. But, I don't have favorites. Like, I'm not sitting there saying I'm playing you because I like you more than the next guy. If you want to get on the floor, then you put yourself in position to get on the floor. And, again, I just thought he's done that, and then you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself. Again, I didn't think A.J. was playing one of his better games, so he got put in the mix, and I thought he took advantage of it.
Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
You're looking for fun and style, then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny. Expected daytime high near 36. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 15. Mostly clear for tonight. Low down to 18 degrees. Mostly sunny Tuesday. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of snow showers before midnight. And our low drop down to 15 degrees. For Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and breezy. We're calling for a daytime high of 31 degrees.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, we had a chance to hear some of that game after we got done with our contest. And, of course, the Cowboys were their own worst enemy as they seem to have things in control there, late in the second.
They were on pace to win that game against UNLV, but then found a way
to give it up.
And, again, right now for the University of Wyoming, how bad this season has been for the Cowboys, again, compared to last year, there's still a team right now out of the entire Mountain West have not won a single conference game. That includes San Jose. That includes Air Force. Obviously, Air Force getting the win against the Cowboys. Right. But, yes, the Cowboys stand as the lone team that has not won a single conference game.
0-4 in the AA, 0-2 in the road. And they're going to have to go back on the road. The announced crowd.
You had shots, again, so far. Air Force at home, UNLV at home. And you're going to have one more, at least, going against San Jose State on the road. But right now,
you got Fresno State coming to the AA.
I don't think they beat Fresno State.
I don't know. But here's the deal. The announced crowd, and again, this just makes me chuckle.
It's fake numbers without doubt.
Announced crowd. Well, no, it's not fake numbers. It's actual tickets that were, purchased or given away, whatever you want to say. 3,000. There was not 3,000 people in that arena auditorium.
No.
Seemed to be more staff and people that worked at UW than there were fans in the stands.
We had a bigger crowd at the RAC, I do believe, than probably at the AA.
I believe you're absolutely right. But here's the deal, too. We got to stop using excuses. And the excuses are we're young. Okay? You've got Maldonado, Hunter Thompson, and even though they're technically redshirt sophomores, they've been with the program for 3 years.
Yeah.
You got Banks, that's a senior. Of course, he came from a JUCO. You have Hendricks. He's a senior, also coming from, I think, College of Southern Idaho, if I remember.
Which is a good.
Southern Utah, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, either or, they'll get
Idaho.
Phenomenal products out there, or at least phenomenal institutions on the basketball side of things to transfer on in from.
The thing is, there's a mixture of all basketball teams have a mixture of young to go with veterans. And again, you've got Thompson and Maldonado that have been with that program for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Are they showing the great improvement? I think Maldonado was, 3 of 11 from the field in the loss?
Guy who's supposed to be your kind of leader of this team, take over that role for Justin James, he's not there, clearly. It's a situation for the University of Wyoming. Again, Allen Edwards is not making excuses. You even heard in that press conference.
I know.
The man's defeated.
But, this is tough.
In my opinion, at least hearing that conference, the guy sounds like it's pretty much of, what's the point at this point?
Well, no,
again, he's going to still coach. He's still going to put out,
and he's going to practice with them today.
Best effort, without a doubt. He's going to fire him up some way, somehow. Keep on coaching him to get him at least some victory, some positivity throughout the season. But you could tell in his voice that, especially after how that crushing loss of how they were in control,
and then
you let it go. Yeah. That right now, Allen Edwards, again, you got to feel for the guy. The guy, he's got to be pretty much crushed.
And you got to understand too. And I said this with the other coaches, and you can relate to this. I know we're going to get to the top of the hour here in a little bit. A lot of these guys that are on UW or even, we'll use LCCC. A lot of these guys come from very successful programs in high school. Mm-hmm. So losing, right now, losing is new to a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
The younger guys. Those that have been with the program one extra year now.
Yeah.
I mean, last year was – they thought that was the anomaly because we had a lot of injuries. We were younger. This year, it's even worse than last year.
Yeah.
And there's not the injuries.
Yeah, it's not the injuries. It's not inexperience. It's pretty much of, they're under your system. They're pretty much healthy. What's the excuse now?
There's not even – you don't even look for excuses.
Is it just a translation area? It's something where you could put on parallels of what we're seeing with head coach Jason Fick again. Both him and Allen Edwards been around the game for a long time, know what they're doing.
And they've got a lot of victories between them.
You look 2 seasons ago where he had the Cowboys winning 20 games in a season back-to-back years. Again, very successful early on, but now, again, under his recruiting classes so far have not really panned out. For Jason Fick so far, difference on the JUCO than D1, where again you're dealing with freshmen, sophomores, and that's all you got.
And some of your freshmen are being that are really good.
Sophomores who are going to be under your system for a year, not like seniors that are going to be
freshmen that are really good that went off on you.
Yeah,
I mean, look, we lost 2 right there in late summer.
Yeah,
that were dependent upon for LCCC.
But it's a scenario of what we're kind of seeing where yes, you are seeing athletes that have been part of successful programs that are now trying to gel with others from around the nation, from around the world, who are also too used to that winning ways.
Right.
And sometimes those personalities, sometimes those entities do not mesh well.
Or communicate well.
It is that scenario of, hey, you go off of the highlight film, you go off of what their stats were in the high school ranks or in JUCO for Allen Edwards, at least sake, so to speak, where he's bringing in these products. Same with him and head coach Jason Fick. It's kind of that gamble, so to speak, of, all right, you got the stats there. The highlight film looks very impressive. Obviously, those are going to be the highlights, not the lowlights for a lot of these athletes. But, you kind of take that gamble on, okay, let's see if it meshes well. If Denver, Colorado meshes well with Boston, Massachusetts, that meshes well with Bosnia, that meshes well with London, England, with, again, so on and so forth. You take that gamble that you hope that system works well, that these student athletes are coachable, they understand the system that you're trying to run, and execute it to the best of their abilities. And I think for LCCC's sake and University of Wyoming's sake, on both the men's side, you have that issue that whatever Coach Ficka and Coach Edwards are teaching these guys, it's not translating, or at least it's not executing well on the
they're
court.
not getting the message.
Yeah.
Well, and again, you look at the remainder of the schedule here for the month of January. They got Nevada at the Lawler Event Center tomorrow night.
No.
Not going to happen. They come home on Saturday against Fresno State. That, to me, might be the one ticket that they have to punch this year for a victory.
You had it against UNLV. I don't have confidence for Fresno.
You go to San Diego State next Tuesday.
Nope.
And then you will come home and take on Utah State.
Nope.
That will be on the 28th, and then to kick off February, you're at San Jose State. So
possibility there.
There's a couple of wins maybe in the offing for the University of Wyoming Cowboys. Again, how bad do they want it? We saw those young guys in Powell at Northwest really want that one. I mean, they fought, really tooth and nail because they seen the clippings. They watched the social media. They saw all that stuff. And you could tell those guys were like, hey, that's not us. We need to come out and play our game. They went up there and did the job. I'm pulling for the Cowboys to, at least get something here. But to me, I'm being realistic. The obvious is Fresno State on Saturday, coming up this Saturday, and maybe if they get Utah State and San Jose State back-to-back, one at home on the road, maybe there might be a couple wins there. I just don't know.
You're not defeating San Diego State. You're not defeating Utah State again for the Cowboys.
And you're not beating Nevada.
No.
At Nevada.
No. Your chances are Fresno and San Jose State, and that's about it right now.
And again, that's what I'm looking at, your two wins coming up on the schedule. We do need to move into hour number 2. We will be right back.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Hour number 2, Wyoming Sports Talk today, being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria. Open 7 days a week at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Sundays are open noon until 8. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, right across the street, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body with the Auto Body and Repair Center over on Dunn Avenue. The Auto Glass and Detail Center can be found on Pershing Boulevard. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Remember, they service what they sell. Medicap Pharmacy, Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse, open Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range across from Powers Field and Menards. Grab some of that delicious mac and cheese to go with your chicken sandwich and waffle fries. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location on Vanda High, the east side location, corner of College and Pershing. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, the 20s on the lot, waiting for you to test drive and just sign on the dotted line. It's a pretty simple drill. And Taco John's, the Cheyenne locations, South Greeley Highway, corner of College, a corner of Pershing and Ridge, corner of Del Range and Ridge, downtown on Cary Avenue, and on the north side on Yellowstone Road. And we get things underway. Scoreboard time brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here is Nick.
As we mentioned beforehand, but for those who did not tune in hour number 1, we'll recap this past weekend's games with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Women, at least at home, taking on number 18 Casper College Lady Thunderbirds. For this past Saturday, LCCC got the upset victory at home by a final of 74-64. With that upset victory over the top 25 Lady Thunderbirds, the LCCC women's basketball program goes to 13-5 overall. They are 2-0 in Region 9 North play. LCCC men's basketball taking on number 19 Casper College. The Thunderbirds were, for LCCC, it was a losing effort by at least 20. It was final score of 89-69. LCCC with that loss falls to 3-13 overall. They are 1-1 in Region 9 North play. NHL action for tonight, only 5 games on the slate. We'll start with the Montreal Canadiens at home. They will host the Calgary Flames. The Battle of New York, at least New York City, between the Rangers and Islanders. This game happening in Madison Square Garden. Philadelphia Flyers at home at Wells Fargo. They will take on the Boston Bruins. The Washington Capitals at home at Capital One Arena. They will take on the Carolina Hurricanes. And last but not least, the St. Louis Blues at home. They will see the Anaheim Ducks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
College football, the national championship game, number 1, LSU taking on number 3, Clemson. Tigers and Tigers hooking up at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. LSU favored by 5 in this contest, over under 67, in case you need to call to one of your favorite bookies. NBA scoreboard on tap for tonight. They're playing basketball when the college championship's on? What's the matter with you guys? Pelicans at the Pistons at Little Caesars Arena. 76ers Pacers in the Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Bulls Celtics in the TD Garden. Thunder and Timberwolves in the Target Center. Magic and the Kings in Sacramento at the Golden One Center. Sacramento and Orlando hooking up tonight. Or, let's see, the Hornets and the Trailblazers. They will be the late-night action in the Moda Center in Portland. And even later at Staples, the Cavaliers will take on the Los Angeles Lakers. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds. We're best buds.
And there's nothing that we love more than a
cool,
crisp,
deliciously refreshing Pepsi!
Sure, we live inside your mouth.
But that doesn't mean we don't enjoy the finer things.
Hey, Nate. Pepsi incoming!
Here it comes!
Tastes so good.
Tell me about it.
So,
amazing.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like we share the same mouth, Kate.
Forever and ever, Nate.
Make your taste buds happy and pick up a delicious, refreshing Pepsi.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Returning to college hoops, the Cowgirls losing in the Thomaston Mack Center on Saturday. They were beaten by UNLV, Lady Running Rebels, 65-53. Cowgirls dropped to 7-8, one game under the Mendoza line. They are now 3-3 in Mo West play. The tough part about this particular loss, and it's been pretty much the norm with the Cowgirls, if you go back and you look at a lot of their games, Nick, it's an undoing of one quarter, or in this case, the second half was just abominable.
Well,
they only put up 23 points in the second half.
That's a team you can use the excuse that it is young. Again, under new head coach Gerald Madsen, where he's trying to implement his style of offense, defense, his coaching style compared to what we've been used to with at least Joe Legursky. But again, as we talked with Coach Madsen before the season got underway, that he was going to use a lot of similarities of what Coach Legursky did. But it is a young team, not a whole lot of wily veterans that are at least able to lead this team. But it is a situation that right now 7-8. Again, UNLV is a tough place to win all the time. We know that. Well, Wyoming Cowgirls know that even from tourney time, where even a bad UNLV Lady Running Rebels team can shock the Cowgirls
they're in the middle right now of a 3-game losing streak where they have lost, most recently, obviously, to UNLV, lost to San Diego State and to CSU. So they're currently, I don't want to say they're treading water. They're right in the middle of the pack. They're tied with San Diego State at 3-3. Above them is Boise at 4-2. You got the Lady Rebels at 4-1. San Jose State. How about the Lady Spartans? They beat CSU this past weekend in Moby. They're 5-1 and leading the pack right now. Fresno State at 5-0. So you still have some mountains to climb to get into that.
This is the Cowgirls team that so to speak. You would hope could get out of this slump that they are in currently, or get out of the funk, so to speak. But right now, this is a Cowgirls team that is kind of below expectations of where they were kind of preseason, at least polls, and just what our thoughts were for the Wyoming Cowgirls of being up there in that top 3, if not top 4 in the Mountain West. They could still get it, but right now you wonder if it is inexperience, if it is again, the wackiness that is Mountain West Conference play that's going to affect the Cowgirls. Right now, again, it's hard to make a determination of what this team is made of, what they're going to be at least come March time. Will this be a team that is going to have at least a first-round entry game into that Mountain West tournament, or is it going to be a team that has that day off and awaits one of those early teams to at least take them on?
I'm thinking this is a team that's going to be playing day one.
I think that is a good possibility. I think that is a option for them. And as they're playing right now, seeing how they are against a lot of these Mountain West Conference foes, whether it is the elites or even down below, again, Cowgirls, they're kind of little all over the place, so to speak, on their play. It's hard to make a determination of what this team's going to be like. I don't think, in all honesty, that this Cowgirls team advances far in the Mountain West tournament of how I'm seeing them play so far, of what they're doing. I don't think they advance far in that Mountain West tourney, and I don't think this is a team that is going postseason, at least turning tide to the WNIT.
And the sad part of this, and we've seen this too, especially on the JUCO side, or we've seen it in high school. It's almost it becomes embedded in your mind. You're waiting for the collapse to happen, and it's becoming too frequent now for the Cowgirls that they have that cold quarter, or in this case, they just didn't even show up in the second half. And you can't do this now.
And I mean,
now in West play.
We see that in JUCO. We even see that with LCCC of what they're. I wouldn't say it's a full quarter, but we see stints out of the Lady Golden Eagles that have issues in a specific quarter, but they find a way, though.
They rally back.
They find a way to rally back, again, infamously, where we go back to that Arizona Christian JV game where they were down by double figures, found a way after a pretty bad, at least, I do believe, third quarter, found a way to come from behind and pretty much blow out that Lady, at least, Firestorm team down there in Glendale, Arizona. So that's the difference right now between the Cowgirls is teams struggle like that. You're going to have those struggles at a point.
And we understand they weren't going to win every game this year too. We knew they were.
You're not the Baylor Lady Bears of the world, or again UConn or Notre Dame or whoever at least in D1, one of those elite programs that could be consistent like that day in and day out, and again through all four quarters. But the Cowgirls, especially in Mountain West play, you can afford to have a down quarter, but you can still find a way to pick up those victories. That's the situation right now for head coach Gerald Mattinson and his Cowgirls is you find a way to shake off that quarter and basically come from behind, or at least get it done, at least solidify that victory.
If you want to be in that elite status in the Mountain West, which UW under Joe Legursky and again, Joe Matson, who was there as an assistant coach. If you want to stay in that elite status, you got to be consistent for four quarters. There's going to be times where, unfortunately, there's a lock on the bucket, or you're just ice cold shooting, whatever the case may be. But you can't do this game in, game out. You have to have exceptions to the rule. I understand that, but we're starting to see a trend right now with this Cowgirl team where when they go cold, and what happens too is that you're battling, you're going shoulder to shoulder with a lot of these teams, and the next thing you know, you find yourself looking up at.
There's some teams you can afford to go cold shooting for. At least, again, as you look at the upcoming schedule for the Wyoming Cowgirls, you could afford to have a bad quarter against the likes of the Lady Aggies of Utah State, who sit right now 0-6, 5-12 overall. You can afford it against Nevada at home at the AA against the Lady Wolfpack, who are 1-4 and 8-8 overall. You can afford it against those teams, but don't let it be a growing trend, or at least something that kind of is a crutch, or at least something to say, hey, mentally we can do this against any team. Because when you see Fresno, when you see San Jose State, some of those elites right now in the Mountain West that are up top, no, they're going to make you pay. They're going to make you pay for at least having sloppy quarters, or they're going to make you pay on those turnovers that you shouldn't be doing at this point in time. So we'll see, again, still plenty of Mountain West Conference, at least action for the Wyoming Cowgirls.
And they find themselves right there in the middle of the pack.
Will they pick up victories throughout the season? Yeah, without a doubt. I think they have a pretty comfortable, at least, schedule coming up. Again, home against Nevada, you should win that one. On the road at Fresno, sorry, that's going to be really tough against the Lady Bulldogs. Home against San Diego State, possibly. On paper, you're even. And again, you have the advantage of being there in Laramie, Wyoming for that contest at the end of January. And then on the road at Logan, taking on Utah State. Again, 3 out of those 4 contests here, at least remaining here in the month of January.
Winnable.
Good possibility.
Yeah.
And looking forward at least, again, at least to February, you should beat CSU. You let that one slip. That was inexcusable, but you should beat them down in Moby. Home against Utah State, again, another win. Home against Air Force, you should beat the Lady Falcons. On the road at Nevada, you should win that one. And then you end the season or at least home for Fresno State. Could that be a shocking upset for the Wyoming Cowgirls? We've seen stranger things happen at the AA. Could be a possibility. Not going to shake it off, but it's going to be really tough for that. But for the remainder of the season for the Wyoming Cowgirls, you got a lot. You got above 500 at least possibility to pick up victories right now.
Absolutely. Speaking of Cowboys and Cowgirls, another Cowboy has exited from the National Football League playoffs. One Jacob Hollister, who was with the Seattle Seahawks.
Boo-hoo.
Well, no,
I have no sympathy. Credit is just for the Seahawks.
No, I don't either. I'm glad the Seahawks are out, but I wanted to, let's pat the guy on his back. I mean, here's a guy who signed a 3-year deal with the Patriots, and again, he's not making piles of money by stretches of imagination. I think the 3-year deal was worth $1.67 million and $90,000 guaranteed bonus. But this year for the Seahawks in regular season, caught 41 passes in 13 games, 349 yards, had 3 touchdowns, and, of course, within an inch up there in Seattle of almost making the Niners the number 5 seed. Had a couple of catches against Philly, 5 last night against Green Bay. So
numbers that are not earth-shattering, but at least he was a contributor to the Seattle Seahawks. But yes,
again, without Russell Wilson, let's be real honest. Without Russell Wilson, that's a 4-12 team.
That's a team where I told you many a time that they were all that impressive throughout the season. I think that 5 seed accurately represented what the Seattle Seahawks were. Again, this is a team that they split the season series with the 49ers only due to the fact that we have a kicker on the 49ers that couldn't hit a pretty much chip shot field goal at that point in time. That was the difference between Niners at least splitting that season, if not sweeping.
But they were taken
Seattle
to the limit both times by the Seahawks.
But again, that's a rivalry game. Same with the 49ers and Cardinals.
Again,
they struggle against the Cardinals again.
And is Russell Wilson an MVP candidate? Absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
Oh, yeah. I think
your MVP of regular season, not postseason, is Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore, without a doubt.
Okay, he's of the AFC. Who are you going to tab on the NFC?
You only get one MVP, and again, for the NFL MVP, again, that's Lamar Jackson. Out of the NFC, I'd probably toss out more who's been kind of the mainstay and elevated, or at least helped this team turn it around from where they were last year to where they are now, a chance to move on to the Super Bowl. How about George Kittle?
Kittle was out, though. He was out for 3 weeks.
I still think without those 3 weeks.
And I'm not going to take anything away from George Kittle.
Who was the most valuable player for his team?
That would be Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had his best year ever as a pro football player. And again, he's the reason why they got to be the number 5 seed. Without Russell Wilson, whoever would have been in there, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. Let's be real.
I guess. But again, Seattle was not all that impressive. Does it shock me that they exited against Green Bay on the road? Green Bay's a better team. They proved it last night. And is Russell Wilson on the NFC side the most valuable player in that conference? I don't think so. He's got a good argument, but I just don't see it. Again, you could even toss out Drew Brees as your probably NFC
Drew Brees
MVP.
was out half the season as well with a thumb injury.
Okay, but he still put up impressive numbers, though, with missing time, though.
Again, like I said, you look at the guy.
But who's going to be your NFL MVP? It's got to be Lamar Jackson, without a doubt, out of Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Who was more impressive? Who was more talked about?
Guess what? Lamar Jackson's going to be doing? He's going to play in the ever lovely Who Cares Pro Bowl now, because he's not playing football this upcoming weekend as Tennessee, the upstart Titans, will match up with Kansas City.
If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you got to be thanking Tennessee at this point in time that you don't have to go to Baltimore and see that team. But
that's right.
Baltimore, what that proved to me in that loss, Baltimore is still a young, inexperienced team. Inexcusable what they did throughout the regular season, but it didn't shock me. It really didn't shock me that Titans, after the momentum win against the Patriots, you got it done. You carry that over into another behemoth in front of you, that being the Baltimore Ravens. It didn't surprise me with all the momentum that the Titans have.
Will the Titans be able to run on Kansas City with Henry?
Kansas City, who looked very vulnerable early on against the Houston
Texans.
And
then ran off 8 straight possessions.
Yeah,
I thought I was watching Cheyenne East and South again, the way they bounced back.
Tennessee, though, again, Henry, of what he could do against Kansas City.
I don't think Ryan Tannehill takes you to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I can't jump on the Tannehill bandwagon.
But Kansas City shows that they have flaws, too, that Tennessee could easily take advantage of. But that is, out of both championship games so far, the AFC, to me, is a more toss-up game where I can see either or. Both teams have their flaws, and big flaws.
And Andy Reid, somehow, some way, finds ways to lose. He's almost like old Marty Schottenheimer. Can't win the big one. And that big one vaults you into the Super Bowl. Somehow, some way.
He's been there before, but again, faltered with the Philadelphia Eagles in their one lone attempt.
Yeah,
but
and he just, since he's been a Kansas
who I would
City.
believe, though, in probably you'd have to go Kansas City, though. You think Mahomes, again, they've been here before.
I give them home field
they were at the
advantage
losing end last year to the Patriots of that, at least, AFC championship game. They've been here before. They've done it before. You got to give that experience at least a slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs at home at Arrowhead in front of that rabid fan base that they should get it done. This is a Kansas City Chiefs franchise that, again, has been, 50 years since they've been to the Super Bowl? 50 years since they've won a Super Bowl, I do believe so. It's a long time coming for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think they got the perfect. Would you rather have seen Titans or Baltimore if you're the Chiefs? You'd rather see the Titans. I think they have a better shot against this Tennessee team than they do Baltimore.
Absolutely. And again,
Baltimore, who could match pace with you of that 52 points if they really wanted to. They struggle against the Titans, but again, throughout the regular season, we've seen that team that can match that pace of that at least high-powered
the Titans
offense.
right now are playing at the top of their game. And again,
and this is where you want to be playing.
And this goes to the old basketball. I was having a discussion this morning too.
Who cares how terrible you were in the regular season?
Yeah, nobody cares about September. Long as you're picking your game up and you're keeping your eye on the playoffs and you're right there November, December into the thick of things.
And Kansas City's been on that same vein as well. They had the early slip-ups. Yeah, so both teams are relatively hot. Who's the hotter team right now is obviously Tennessee, but I think they cool off against Kansas City. I think the Chiefs will be your AFC championships going on to the Super Bowl without a doubt. The NFC, obviously, we're going to be quite biased, but
I'm glad Green Bay's there.
It's proven earlier on in the regular season that the 49ers
throw it out, though.
Took care of business pretty handily. Yes, obviously, you throw that out. Again, having a second chance, second opportunity to take on that same team. But again, in Levi's, weather's not going to be a factor. Like if it were roles reverse, if 49ers had to go up to had to go up to Green Bay, but that one obviously going to be a little bit biased. We both are the 49er fans. Yeah, you feel confident. I feel confident that it's Green Bay, not Seattle.
Well, Green Bay, and again, this is the comparisons. You're not going to be able, even though he can still scramble a little bit, Rodgers, but he is not the scramble runner like Russell Wilson is. So for the 49ers, with their outside attack,
that being one Nick Bosa. Yeah.
Bosa on that side. And again, I'm hoping, is Ford going to be back? I'm not sure. I think they were thinking he might make it back. Anyway.
I don't know.
But the point is, with the Niners.
I think he was questionable.
But the thing is, Rodgers is not going to be able to run as much on the Niners as what one Russell Wilson would do.
Yeah, it's something for that defense.
He's got to throw. He'll have to throw it.
It's something for that 49er defense where, yes, if you were facing off against Russell Wilson, you have to be alert of that option play by one Russell Wilson, not so much with Aaron Rodgers. So that kind of eliminates or at least eases a bit of that tension, that mentality for the 49ers on the defensive side to focus on pretty much spotlighting some of your, at least tight end, some of those receivers, and pretty much focusing all efforts on Aaron Rodgers just sitting back.
And do the Packers have better receivers than the Seahawks? Absolutely. I'd give that event. Yeah. I think on the receiving core, both sides, and of course George Kittle is your X factor for the 49ers, but again, with the Niners, they've got a great receiving core as well, too. So Garoppolo,
who's got the better receiving core? I think the 49ers have proved that they do right now, again, with highlighting George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders.
Running backs, too.
Absolutely. I think on paper, the 49ers, as they are the number one seed, going to prove why they are the number one seed and will advance on against the Green Bay Packers. I think that is a game I feel very confident about, more so, again, you go back, or again, tossing out that regular season contest, that regular season blowout already happening at Levi's between these two, but on paper, where you look at combined offensive weaponry to defenses as well, too, between these two, 49ers on paper are a little bit, I'll say a lot better team than what Green Bay is kind of putting out there right now.
Absolutely. And I think, too, as we looked at the Niners, they were 7-point favorites heading into the game.
Heavy favorites, yeah.
Against Minnesota. And again, right now, the money is being put on the Niners. So, again, I don't have
I think rightfully so.
And I don't have the actual, points right here. You probably have that more than I do. But the thing is, too, with San Francisco, the defense was just phenomenal. And let's be real honest with that. I mean, that's what wins you games. Jimmy Garoppolo was not all that effective as a QB for the Niners. I think he was 11 for 19 throwing the football. But, you had Mostert, who rushed well for San Francisco, but they didn't have to throw the football on. The defense held, Minnesota, 24 yards rushing? And Kirk Cousins spent most of his time running for his life.
Kirk Cousins, it was just,
I understand that, but I mean, the guy was running for his life most of the contest.
Looking at lines for both AFC and NFC championship games, both home teams are favored by 7.5 points, which is kind of surprising, kind of shocking. You don't normally see that kind of high of a line in an NFC championship game. It's more sitting around that 3-4 point spread, but now, again, a full touchdown and a half for at least for the 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't surprise me. Again, on paper, both of those teams are vastly better than those teams coming into their home territory. Again, in my opinion, of what I think is going to happen, you're going to have a 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl coming up in Super Bowl 54.
So right now I'm just looking at the depth charts, and here's what we have. Let's see. Mostert is questionable for the contest. Let's see who else is questionable. Dexter Williams, Josh Jackson, Danny Vitale, they are questionable for Green Bay right now. So, again, 7.5 points. The matchup projector right here has, San Francisco with a 72% chance of winning at Levi's. So, again, you tack on 3 points for being at home. The Packers, even though it's a championship contest, it could get ugly like it did. And remember, the Packers came back after a bye week to take on the 49ers. And again, too, the 49ers defensive package that they –
But you look at last night's – you look at what the Packers did against the Seahawks, where, again, you allowed that team to get back into that contest, if not win it, due to the fact, again, we had that questionable call there that at least – did he get that first down? Was it going to be the fourth down for the Green Bay Packers? Again, you saw that the yellow line's an estimate, and from the goal, at least from the first down marker camera, so to speak, it showed that he passed it.
Yeah.
But either way, again, in this day and age of the NFL having those kind of questionable calls, Green Bay advances on, but they nearly lost that contest.
Yeah, Seattle was coming back.
That's why Green Bay does not look impressive.
Well, and the thing is, too, do the Packers put 28 points up against the Niners? The Niners really have to be coughing the ball up if they do.
49ers, who have pretty much kept majority of teams throughout their entire regular season and postseason down to about 20-ish points, if not even lower than that, and on average. It's going to be a struggle.
And the last time Green Bay faced the Niners, again, I know that was during the regular season, they only had 7 points. So obviously, the game plan, and I'm sure the Niners are sitting down looking at that game film right away to see what's going on and how to attack Rodgers. And again,
you look at what Seattle did.
Around for a long time.
You look at what Seattle did against Rodgers, how aggressive they were.
Yeah, I mean that pass that he got off for that first down, he threw that off his back foot. Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a good vet. So do I feel comfortable that the Niners are going up against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers? A hell of a lot better. I feel more comfortable than they're going up against Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
So, but again, I still have a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers. We do need to take a timeout. We are going to come back. We got more Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words. B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store for well over 50-plus years. Not only do we offer several major brands, but we service what we sell. We also have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store,
Just ask to see their parts in the service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. This week's Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Jim Beam Bourbon, select variety, 750 milliliter bottle, $13.99. Corona family of beers, 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles or cans, $15.99. And Lord Calvert Canadian whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $12.99. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. For almost 30 years, I've had the pleasure to talk about Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. Hi, this is Larry Proetti with an invitation to bring your vehicle into Cars for service and minor repairs that are done with precision and care. Now, I've known John and his staff for a long time, and when it comes to tune-ups, replacing shocks, fixing fuel pumps, replacing timing chains, working on heating and air conditioning units, or even just a good old-fashioned oil change, I only trust my car when it comes to service to be under the care of Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service. They are a TechNet professional, where their work is covered by a nationwide limited repair warranty that extends across North America for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. For more information, check out technetprofessional.com on the World Wide Web. Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service always goes one step above the rest when it comes to the care of your vehicle. 604 West Lincoln Way in Cheyenne, open Monday through Friday. Call and set up an appointment at 632-0498.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
At Platte Valley Bank, we love to see our customers come through the door. Well, we know life can be busy and you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking products with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, mobile deposit, and now digital wallet. At Platte Valley Bank, you can manage your money how you want, when you want. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny. Expected daytime high near 36. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 15. Mostly clear for tonight. A low down to 18 degrees. Mostly sunny Tuesday. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of snow showers before midnight. And our low drop down to 15 degrees. For Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and breezy. We're calling for a daytime high of 31 degrees.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're going to head back to basketball a little bit, but there is a baseball note. Yes, there are some signings of free agents, during the offseason. There was a ball player that had a career back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. Ed Sprague Sr. Passing away this weekend. His son, Ed Sprague Jr., had played. And the reason I brought up, I remember Ed Sprague playing with the Oakland A's way back when, in the early 70s. But the big baseball news today comes out of Houston. So Major League Baseball steps in and suspends manager A.J. Hinch.
Well, they did suspend.
And GM Jeff Luhnow
for a year
for their roles in the 2017 sign stealing incident. Well, the Houston Astros,
which again is cheating. So
yeah, that's cheating. Well, the Houston Astros ownership said,
Basically, like an hour later after that announcement by Major League Baseball, basically said, bye-bye, we don't want you part of this, at least franchise. They both got fired immediately. So the interesting thing about this is obviously that now it's a new era in Houston with the Astros. We'll see how far down this again, you got talent there. Was it all something on that GM and Hinch that led this team? We'll see what happens with this franchise. I still think they'll be at least up there in the AL West, still winning games. I don't think they're going to fall down a grave.
They're still pretty
It's not like they're on
decent,
the death penalty, so to speak.
Well,
like,
they did get kicked in the groin here by Major League Baseball. They will lose a first and second round draft pick this year and next year. The organization was fined, and again, to Houston, that's probably chump change.
Yeah.
A record $5 million they were fined by MLB.
They make that probably in concessions in a day out there.
I understand that, but again, I mean, they got hit pretty good by Major League Baseball, and really, if the Astros did not react, you're without a skipper and you're without a GM for a whole year. Well, Houston says, screw this, you're both gone. It's easier to replace a GM now and replace a manager as well. So.
But again, it was not death penalty-ish for the Houston Astros. You're going to still have that talent that was still in the thick of the playoffs last year, retaining this season. It's something that the new face up top and at least in the clubhouse with manager and now GM, I don't think affects this team a whole lot. They're still going to be, if not winning the AL West, back in the playoffs. Still feel confident in that. But the funny and surprising thing, or at least obviously MLB can't do a whole lot with this, but you go back to 2017 with that World Series championship for the Houston Astros. If you're a Dodgers fan, you're probably irked right now at this point in time learning about all this, at least situation, that now that World Series victory over those LA Dodgers now comes with an asterisk.
It's tainted, yeah.
It's a tainted victory over your team that, again, that came down to Game 7 of that World Series, where, again, Houston eventually at least came away with that victory in that, at least, World Series championship. So, again, too bad we don't have Chris Bolton here to give his thoughts on that situation of looking back, where this was kind of the primary, at least this is the reason for the year suspension, the now firing there, was that postseason, was that World Series. That was the investigation, was finding out that they did cheat during that to get that championship. And now at least that was Houston's at least findings. Now we're learning that Boston's getting involved with their recent championships, at least on the same vein of what Houston did. Boston apparently did the exact same thing. Nothing has come yet out of those findings, or at least no suspensions or firings yet. But
yeah, and Alex Cora is going to be in the hot seat for that one.
Yeah.
So, real quick, what's been going on? You know, our team has been very, very quiet, which bothers me. But
they're not cheating.
No, they're not cheating, but they're also going to probably be in last place again this year.
Yeah.
The Rockies.
They got a lot of issues right now, or at least a lot of off-season grumblings right now.
Here's what's going on, and I've got the latest here. All-star shortstop Trevor Story asked for $11.5 million, and the Rockies have offered him $10.75 million.
You would think he'd go for it.
When players and teams exchanged proposed salaries in salary arbitration Friday. Catcher Tony Walters also could be headed toward a hearing next month after requesting a raise from $960,000 to $2.475 million. The Rockies are offering $1.9. The club did agree to one-year deals with 4 other players who were eligible for arbitration. Right-hander John Gray got a raise, $2.925 to $5.6 million.
Is he worth that? I don't think so.
Left-hander Kyle Freeland, who was really, really bad this year, $565,000. He was making minimum.
Okay.
And he got a raise for having a bad year to $2.875.
Just tossing monies around. All right.
Outfielder David Dahl, who hasn't had a full season under his belt.
Oh, but he improved. He improved the game.
He was making around minimum too, $584,000. He will get a raise to $2.425.
Does he deserve it compared to Gray and compared to Freeland? Yeah.
Yeah. And
as much as, yes, he has not been a full healthy player for the Rockies, but again, he's been that impactful player though for that team. Yeah, without a doubt.
A bullpenner, Carlos Estevez, got a raise, and right-handed reliever Scott Oberg, who was also eligible for arbitration before reaching a $13 million 3-year contract with the Rockies last month.
How do you retain that guy?
Oberg was probably the most consistent reliever they had last year.
Yeah, I guess, but he was still not that impressive.
Yeah, but they were so bad, he at least stood out.
I still believe that this Rockies team, again, as they've not made a whole lot of movement here in the offseason other than just solidifying a lot of at least retaining a lot of the former players.
And paying some money to do it.
Yeah, paying monies, but also, too, this is a Rockies franchise that of recent years have been kind of throwing around money carelessly. Again, we go back to the infamous, 2 years ago we brought in the most expensive bullpen that bought you nothing.
That stunk.
It was
totally
terrible.
Stunk.
Right now for the Rockies, what we saw last year, I don't think was a fluke. I think you might have that similar situation here coming up this season with this current Rockies team. And also, too, we now have another issue with Nolan Arenado, at least the news and circulation that Arenado's not happy. He wants out again of Colorado. Who knows how valid that is.
I think that's all smoke and mirrors right now. I don't believe
But
in
it sounds
that.
like he's unhappy as well, that the Rockies kind of stand pat, that the ownership and GM front office basically said, hey, we're happy with as is, and didn't address needs. Understanding, or at least from various sources from what I've been reading into, sounds at least it's almost a confident at least ploy that at least Nolan Arenado is not happy of where he's at right now.
Well, maybe he's just not happy with the way the organization is approaching the offseason.
I wouldn't be either. If I'm a Rockies fan, I would not be happy of where you got Bridich saying, hey, we're happy, we're going to stand pat.
Then you throw that in the general manager's hands. Obviously, the general manager who has had, 2-3 years now to turn this ship around.
Did you not see that? Your bullpen was probably one of the worst. You have. I wouldn't even say the bullpen, but again, your pitching staff in general was probably one of the worst in all of Major League Baseball. I don't think it was a fluke last year. I think that is a trend that you're going to see coming up here in 2020 with the Colorado Rockies. I think that is a good possibility that what you're going to see on hand is that teams have now figured out John Gray. They've figured out everyone else on that pitching staff. They're going to take advantage, and your team's going to struggle once again. You talk about the Giants finishing dead last. I think the Rockies have a good case of maybe finishing dead last in the NL West as well, which they did last year.
Now, I think the Padres and the Giants are going to battle for that last spot.
I think Padres
it's the Dodgers to win.
Arizona's going to give them a fight.
They're going to be very good this year. And
Padres,
San
I think,
Diego
improve
a
bit.
They're going to be at the Mendoza line. You're going to have the Giants and the Rocks right down there at the bottom again.
I think so. I think without a doubt.
Unless something miraculous happens at spring training, and again with the Rockies, they decide to pick up somebody that we're not aware of.
You now have a Giants staff that no longer supports your ace starter of Madison Bumgarner. Instead, now he's in Arizona. I mean, you have bad pitching in Colorado. You got rough pitching in San Francisco.
I mean, your ace now is what, Schmarzner and Cueto?
Yeah.
Those are your two aces, and Cueto's coming back from Tommy John, so we don't even know how effective he's
going to say Rodriguez, but
Derek Rodriguez, he could be okay. And then you had the other youngster last year too, and then they also signed Holland again. So
oh boy,
yeah, we got a long baseball season coming up. Rocky fans, I don't know what to expect from Colorado again. And oh, by the way, pitchers and catchers report exactly a month from today. We got to take a timeout. We will be right back after this. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
When you are dealing with the Coin Shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. The Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
This might not be your New Year's resolution, but it should be. Never drink and drive. Ever. Be smart and stay safe. Getting behind the wheel after even one drink is a recipe for disaster. Be the envy of your friends and stick to your resolution. You'll be glad you did, and you'll be here to talk about it. Don't drink and drive. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds. Compassionate, expert, efficient care. The cornerstones of Cheyenne Urological with Doctors Bryant, Everett, Gajewski, and Suleski, providing top-notch treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities. And now Cheyenne Urological is offering Resume, a new non-invasive procedure for BPH using water vapor. So for the finest in urinary care, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
Otherwise, for today, mostly sunny. Expected daytime high near 36. Winds out of the southwest at 5 to 15. Mostly clear for tonight. A low down to 18 degrees. Mostly sunny Tuesday. We're calling for a daytime high near 40. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a chance of snow showers before midnight. And our low drop down to 15 degrees. For Wednesday, it's going to be sunny and breezy. We're calling for a daytime high of 31 degrees.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, home stretch of our program. Again, we'll have a program coming up on Wednesday. No program tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. We will be on the road with LCCC. Once again, we'll be headed to CWC on Thursday for basketball action, and then we will spend the night there, head over to Sheridan for Saturday afternoon hoops. So, again, we will be out of the office on Thursday and Friday. We have high school hoops tomorrow.
As I say, no show tomorrow due to the fact that we'll have high school hoops, myself and Chris Bolton live at Cheyenne South, as we'll see those same South High teams that we saw past Friday, as they will play host to Scotts Bluff, the Lady Bearcats and Bearcats, again, respectively. That is more non-conference action.
It's interesting that we've had Central boys and girls and we've had South boys and girls. We have yet to have a...
We were supposed to have East this Friday, but again, with us being on the road and other factors, we've decided not to cover that East Scotts Bluff game this Friday.
Pre-season, yeah.
Yeah, so again, we'll catch them up at least when they're taking on Central, when they're taking on South, when they're taking on Laramie, I do believe as well. So, again, we will see Cheyenne East at a point in time. It was supposed to be this Friday, but again, we're going to be on the road, and it's just easier to basically see them later on in the season.
Yeah, and again, we'll catch them during conference time, preseason. Speaking of preseason, Taco John's invite, very good for Central. Boys and girls.
Very good for 5 teams, except for
East,
Chad DeBryan's squad
girls.
with the Lady Fighting Bison. They are still having their struggles this season. They sit right now at 3-6 overall. But other than that, though, again, for Cheyenne South on the boys' side, 6-3 as where they stand right now overall. Again, the one loss was a game that we covered with Casper Kelly Walsh. Again, don't sell short the Trojans, defending 4A state champions. They proved why against the Bison.
Central took care of business against the Trojans.
Again, Central's going to take care of business against a lot of teams this season. I think Central has a good chance to go undefeated throughout this entire season. I think they absolutely can. there's a good possibility that they will. Central does still stand at 9-0 overall after at least the Taco John's Invitational. And on the boys' side for Cheyenne East, they are 8-3. Laramie, they are no longer undefeated. They are now 7-2, showing that they were a bit mortal, even having games at least Plainsman Gymnasium.
Right.
They didn't even have to come over, but I do believe they came over for one game, if I stand corrected. But they are no longer undefeated. But that's where we stand. Central 9-0, Laramie 7-2, East 8-3, South 6-3. That's on the southeast quadrant of the boys. Girls side for this quadrant, Cheyenne East Lady Thunderbirds 10-1, very impressive. No surprise there. Central also 8-1 on the at least heels of Lady Thunderbirds. Cheyenne South sits at least 3-6, and Laramie Lady Plainsmen, they are 2-7 overall.
So we got you all caught up on the high school side. And again, a reminder, more high school hoops with Chris and Nick coming up tomorrow right here on 1480 KRAE. We're going to wrap things up here real quick because it is championship football.